Hello there everyone, it's Anarl, and in this video I'm going to be showing you the opening ceremony for the Explorers Guild. This is a supplemental video to the main Explorers Guild video, so if you haven't watched that first, you can go do that now. This video was created on the 16th of December 2017, which is slightly over 7 years ago. After all this time, I am finally making use of this footage. At the time of recording, I didn't intend to share this with anyone. It was significant enough for me to hit the record button and remember the moment, but only for me. Despite how bad the video might be, I'm still sharing it because it's relevant to the Explorers Guild video I published recently, and because it's the first video I ever recorded of Simplex. My computer at the time was a Dell Inspiron 546. For the nerds that want to look up the specifications of that, you can. And for everyone else, just know that it was not a powerful machine. I couldn't play Minecraft without Optifine, and I did not shoot video often at the time for a good reason. It came out choppy and laggy like this. So for anyone watching, this will be a hard watch, but I hope my commentary will make up for that. Unlike today, I used Fraps to record this and exported it as a AVI file. If I used OBS like I do today and the video was in an MP4 file, it wouldn't take half a gig of space. Before the ceremony, I built an area in front of the guild hall for opening the guild. I meant it to be temporary, but I ended up not tearing it down like I originally intended. I was in my stockpile gathering fireworks, preparing for the planned ceremony, and what you're going to be seeing here is I'm going to be going to all the individual launchers and then putting in like a single firework. I intended that to be sort of like a surprise, after my speech was over. There were also some that were hidden that were already loaded, particularly in this pit right here that you see, like a lava pit. Or no, maybe I did have to load them, but I loaded them like I was able to access the dispensers like through the lava. God, I don't even remember that. Wow. Even now, this is really hard to watch because it's kind of hard to tell, what's kind of going on. And only I can really figure out, what I was doing because, I was the one that shot this video and, I've watched this video like time and time again. So my idea was to have this area in front of the guild hall. I would confine everybody into this particular building where they would, watch me give my speech on a raised platform. And, I would give my speech then. And then after that, I would shoot these wooden buttons that would launch the fireworks. And I wanted that to be, kind of a surprise. Like, I didn't want, I wanted everybody confined in this one building. And I made it so that you couldn't see the dispensers from like any angle within the building. Again, to make the fireworks a surprise. So what I'm doing is I'm going to just go farm some chorus fruit real quick. I think what I wanted to do was after I gathered everybody, I would just eat chorus fruit and then use my home to teleport me into the guild hall and then, go up the ladder. I don't know why I did that. I feel like it would have been a lot easier for me to just, type slash home. I think I named the home like home fire to like go to the guild hall instead of eating coarse fruit. I don't know what I was thinking back then. And even this entire speech that I was going to give, I don't feel like if I did this now and in hindsight, I would have just posted the original Explorers Guild thread. Well, the official one, not the original, the official thread, like today, like the day that this video was shot on the 16th of December 2017. Oh my god. And then the speech I would give, like in this video that you're gonna see, would have been the first post in that thread. Spartan anti-cheat. Wow. Uh, it's kind of nostalgic seeing my old server list too. And like some of the servers that I played, most of them aren't even around anymore. Well, Simplex is still around. I think I wanted to expand this claim because I don't know. I think I was a little bit more afraid of creepers and griefing and stuff. I forgot to mention too, I'm wearing all gold for the occasion. So I still have that gold armor like to this day. Fully enchanted, just god armor. So like me eating this course fruit right now is what I wanted to do. I would eat the course fruit and then just teleport out of the building and then, go home. I feel like it would have been easier or just better for me to, just go around this entire structure that I made and kill all the, or just light it up. I just didn't do that. But anyway, about the gold armor I was wearing, I felt like it was fitting because I would stand out, from everyone else just wearing full diamond or, diamond with like their elytra on. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be starting. So I'm telling everybody to, come TP to me if you want to see the Explorers Guild opening. I think after the speech, I'm just gonna let you guys go and watch the rest of this raw uncut footage. I'm not gonna have much else to say other than that. Uh, but until then, all I can really talk about is what we're all seeing here, giving context to everything going on. So yeah, Coding J was the first that came to the opening ceremony. Later name that he used was 83F or 83 Fahrenheit. I don't know why the number 83 was significant to his username. And he definitely doesn't play anymore. Now, Chew2112, their current username is Chew Imperium, and they're the event manager on Simplex. They have been for a while now. And then DZ Jedi Ito, I mentioned in the main Explorers Guild video that they were the builder of the mountain city of Ebentop Keep. Not Ebentop, Ebentop Keep. So with the initial thread I made for the Explorers Guild, I made it. I pitched the idea and hoped someone else would take it because I was too busy with the shopping district at the time. Of course, later I must have either gotten bored or maybe I did get more time. I I made the opportunity myself by offloading my responsibilities to my managers and stuff. But if I didn't do that, or if how do I put this? I feel like if I put my entire being into the Explorers Guild, it definitely would have been a lot more successful. And especially if I waited until like later updates. Like my ideas for the guild, I mean, if I made it now, it would be way, way different. But I was just working with what I had at the time. Plus, the original vision or ambition was to map the entire world, which is a lot more plausible nowadays because the world is smaller. But like back then, I definitely would have needed help. And maybe if I put a little bit more thought into the Explorers Guild, maybe if I had some other minds to bounce ideas off of, I wouldn't have had all these like flaws that the Explorers Guild like innately had. Just stuff like the quadrant map being like a single size and it couldn't be expanded without this remaking the entire guild hall. So it looks like the speech is about to start. Yeah, Darth Vader. They will mention something about like a golden statue. I really cannot remember what the heck they were referring to. I feel like it would have been something like I would make a golden statue of like him or I don't know, something like that. Maybe it would have been of him, like at the Explorers Guild or something. I feel like for him it definitely would have been something like PvP related, but I don't know why I would make it at the Explorers Guild though. I'd have to really dig through my chat logs, but well, yeah, I'm not going to do that. The gold was somehow butter, so the statue melted. That is so corny. All those maps for nothing. I don't know if he donated to the guild at all or not. And of course, you'll see that Coding J was really impatient. I feel like everyone was because, everyone's just pacing back and forth and they're going to watch me slowly type in chat, what I was copy pasting from a notepad. And speaking of the speech itself, I actually have the original copy. Like what I'm going to be saying to everybody, for this ceremony was a little different to what I actually have on file. I don't know if that was like the original, like the first draft, or yeah, I really don't know. But what I have is a little different. But it would still serve the purpose of informing everybody what's changed since I posted the original thread like months ago. But yeah, exploring the world was definitely going to be a oh excuse me, it was going to be like a challenge definitely. But with how big the world was and how popular the server was, I mean, there had to be, other player builds out there that, were fun to see and explore, especially as the server aged. And I wanted to do it one quadrant at a time. And my speech starts now. When I first joined Simplex and established a base in the snowy hills, I scouted around the biome to see if there were any other players that built nearby. And I was typing this slip because I was reading it to just kind of proofread it before I hit enter. I really like my space and would have went back to spawn and hit the random teleport pad and found a new spot for a base if I saw that there was another base nearby, because I was really territorial whenever I first joined Simplex. But I did settle where I chose and still live there now. Come on, Xanarl, get on with it. When I wanted to take a break from building, I would explore beyond the snowy biome I inhabited, and after long treks through the landscape, I was excited to find some player-made structures and bases big and small. For me, back then, it would have been Sir Destructor's base that would have been my neighbor to the west, and to the northeast would have been Purple Paris's base. I would live a full nomadic life to keep experiencing this excitement, but the feeling does have diminishing returns on me, and I do have I do like having a home to return to, a refuge. Yeah, because all my exploration was done on foot. About 6 months ago, a player named Robbins was helping me work out what it would take to explore the whole overworld of Simplex, with the current world border at 42,500. And unfortunately for me, it would have been expanded to 50,000. I do remember talking to Robbins, just uh, working out the math for how big the quadrant map would be. One of our early ideas was to build one huge map, but we concluded dividing the one big map into 4 quadrants would be best. Each quadrant would be either positive or negative in the x quadrant coordinate or z coordinate, thus creating 4 separate sections. I named each quadrant after the 4 classical elements of earth, fire, water, and air. Yeah, and I did that because of lag for the lag on my end, client side lag. I couldn't distinguish client side lag from server side lag. You are at the gates of the first guild hall for the Explorers Guild in the fire quadrant, which was positive X, positive Z. The architect, E Major 7, has been working with me closely to complete this structure. He has been eager as I to see this place finished, especially with the setback of having to make it 1 block wider. That was a real pain for him and I. I'm grateful that his will to finish has not faltered, hence I'd not have this completed building behind me. I thank him for the many materials, patience, and time he's put into this build despite all of the holdups. Not only did we have a holdup with, having to widen it, but there was also a little problem with the archives that we had to figure out. You can kind of think of the archives as like a backup of the quadrant map. Much thought has been put into this project. I'm proud to be here and now presenting it to you all. If it's out there, the Explorers Guild will find it, and with this hull complete, new horizons await. And then I start shooting the buttons. Then the fireworks go off. And then this button here was for the fireworks in the lava pit. It was definitely a lot more exciting in the moment, not seeing it again. Like, through this video, with how laggy it is. And then I open up the door, and everyone is free. And to address Darth Vader's concern about the maps being outdated, that definitely would have been the case. But I don't think I really cared. I really didn't. And the whole reason why I didn't put, we're looking at a 21 by 21, just wall of lag, as I called it. The reason why I didn't make just one big map was something that I learned from Uriel Everos. He wanted to do something similar, and Mihan actually just shut down what he wanted to do, which was just make a huge map of like the area, around his base and beyond, like a regional map. Of course, the map that he made was smaller than the quadrant map at the Fire Guild Hall. But that combined with, just how weak my computer was and not being able to, look at the quadrant map with, with lag and everything, I decided to, do the whole 4-quadrant thing. Yeah, so it's actually pretty unfortunate that I had to make the archives. What you would do is, actually, I don't need to tell you. I already told you in the Explorers Guild video. But the only thing I really have to mention with the archives is it actually took a little bit to figure out how do I put it? How you would put a copy. Oh, excuse me. How you'd put a copy of the map you'd want to deposit into the archives without other people accessing it at all. Like I wanted the area behind all the droppers and buttons to be for staff only, because the quadrant map was so prone to griefing. If someone did happen to just completely destroy it, staff would have to go into the archives, make copies of the copies in the archives, and then just by hand manually restore the original quadrant map. which would have been a huge pain. And I also had to figure out what blocks. Well, I didn't want anyone to go back there so you can access the chests. So, staff can get back there and restore the quadrant map. So I had to, research a little bit on like chorus fruit and make sure nobody could use chorus fruit to, get back there and steal all the maps. So that was a little fun. So when will the mapping commence? Says DZ Jedi Ito. Yeah, at this time, I think I had my browser open with like the official Explorers Guild thread, almost ready to publish, and all I had to do was, well, just make the thread, or either that, or I had what I wanted to put in the thread in like a text file, and then later I would make it all pretty and stuff, make it official looking. I particularly chose this quadrant because my two, well, I mean, in the end, both of my bases were in the positive quadrant of the world. And that's why I want to start in the fire quadrant. E Major 7, on top of just building a free guild hall for me, he also like pitched ideas for what the like official Explorers Guild like banner would look like. Although I liked his design, I wanted something more simple, like what you see here in the lobby, sort of like a gray X and red, blue, yellow, and green. For the four quadrants of the world. Yeah, I think I stuck around for, I want to say, like 20 minutes or so. Maybe like half an hour after I gave my speech to just answer questions and, just chat about, what I was doing and what I wanted the Explorers Guild to be. I wanted to map the entire world one quadrant at a time. Uh, because it was a lot easier to chew, so to speak. If we, like, I guess another approach would have been to make all four quadrants or all four guild halls. And then if you wanted to map in, say, like the water quadrant, you would go to the water guild hall and then start mapping there. Like that was an idea, but what I wanted to do was just kind of do everything in order, like clockwise. The far quadrant would have been the bottom right of the world. So like the fire guild hall would, well, the fire quadrant would be mapped out first, and then earth, then water, then air, and then I would loop back to the fire guild hall. And at that point, I believe the fire guild hall would have been just completely remade. And at that point, I mean, who knows what update would have been, but we definitely would have had placeable, item frames placeable like on the floor and ceilings and stuff like that. It is a little bit of a shame that the manager's office was just made obsolete because of the changes that I made. But that's pretty all right. Yeah, even the supplies that you would take, from the guild hall if you wanted to, explore a map. Uh, I don't know. I guess I really wanted to rely on, the members to just, restock it with their own stuff because all it really was like paper and like book and quills and stuff. Well, boats too. Oh yeah, E Major made it so you could glide with an elytra from the manager's office down like almost exactly to the viewing platform, so you can view the entire quadrant map. So that was a nice feature. The managers, that's what I wanted to talk about whenever I mentioned the manager's office. If I went the route of having managers run the guild hall with, explorers, answering to the manager, I don't think the Explorers Guild would have taken off at all. It'd be too heavily reliant on managers to just run in general. I think that's why I wanted to have like a hands-on approach. Anyone can, just come in, basically like an open source project. Anyone can contribute to mapping and stuff. But like even after I completely got rid of like the manager role and it was just explorers, it definitely just needed a single leader to run things to keep the explorers guilds, will keep the guild halls stocked, train new members despite there being like a thread explaining everything. Just having that in person, teaching, just kind of learning from, just taking from my experiences, being the owner of the shopping district. Uh, it definitely was a better teaching method than just go to this thread and read. People don't like reading. Like, are you kidding? But if only I didn't run the shopping district, I feel like this would have been a lot more successful. And if I waited just a few more updates, it would have been way better. I probably would have used a really similar system to. Actually, no, no. I was going to mention something about the collection and Dimensional Duck's effort to map the entire world, and then assigning people to like columns, but I don't think I would have liked that. But that does remind me of one thing I wanted to do. Well, one thing to like keep track of like where people were exploring. So if you wanted to explore somewhere on the map, you would use an item, rename it whatever you liked, and then just put it where you were exploring. Take out the map, and then after you're done, you'd take out your icon, so to speak, and then place your map on the quadrant map. Just so like more than two people weren't exploring the same spot. I managed to rant about the Explorers Guild a little bit for the duration of this video. How surprising. That's the entirety of the completely raw, uncut footage of Something I didn't think I would ever share with anyone because of how bad of a watch this was. I hope I got you to the end, and I'll see you guys next time, whenever that may be.